Hello guys, my name is Kranvagn and welcome to this new episode of Dummies, featuring the Kranvagn. The what? Alright, let me get it straight. Who in the hell would make a tank looking so freaking hilarious? Oh, Frenchies. But that is not exactly what I wanted to talk about, because there is one thing that is much more hilarious about this tank, and that is its name. Who would ever name their proud creation that they might have spent months working on a freaking Kranvagn? Crane freaking wagon. Like, imagine this. You're working months on a private project for your army that has to be as perfect as it can even be, so we can wreck those drunk Ruskies. But when they ask you how it's named, you just answer with Crane Wagon. It's like the freaking Taserface from Guardians of Galaxy 2. Well, I can't deny the fact that it looks like a Crane Wagon, so yeah, 1 point to Sweden. Geez, man, I just felt like a Dumbledore giving Gryffindor another 10,000 points as he sees them losing the race for House of the Year. Anyways, back to the tank, which is, well, only about a turret. This tank, truly despite the fact that the whole army is looking all scared with the angling and a pig nose, it ain't no IS-3, but instead of that, it is just a glorified baguette with unrealistically thick turret armor. Why unrealistic? Well, in reality, the turret armor was only 170mm thick. But Wargaming does not give a single flip-flop about what the tanks were in reality, so they just gave this tank 225 frontal turret armor. Like what? That armor with this sloping is absolutely impossible to penetrate for majority, if not all the tanks it meets. So, well, to make it more balanced, it doesn't have any gun depression, just like the Ruskies, so you cannot furthermore increase it by level working ridge lines. It has 12 degrees of gun depression. 12 goddamn degrees of gun depression. Let me get this straight again. On tier 10, there's not a single tank that has over 10 degrees of gun depression, and that is this tank with 12. By the way, what the hell is the Type 5 Heavy doing over here? It even had a real life thingy on the back of its turret that moves with the gun. I seriously need some help. But what are those? I can bet that these little baggies on the back are the Cheetos in World War II camouflage. Wait, they got skins? Does that mean that this thing is OP? No, it can't be. Oh, thank God that I just forgot that this is tier 10 heavy and not some tier 8 premium, so it cannot possibly be OP. Wait. But if the turret armor wasn't OP enough, even though quote-unquote whole armor as I described it, has over 65 degrees of angling without you having to do anything. So what does that mean? That even the slightest bit of angling and you will transform a huge portion of your frontal plate to a Tokyo Drift simulator for bullets. Well, long story short, the front of this tank is more or less impenetrable if played correctly, which is by the way really rare for some reason these days. No, don't do it, he's reloaded. For Christ's sake, no, you idiots! Why? And the bad chat as well. Why the... What the hell were you even thinking? Oh, thank God, only the RT's left. It has no chance of killing a bad chat going top speed. You have got to be kidding me. Anyway, did I mention that this tank might have been considered a main battle tank, but it was much lighter than majority of the other tanks, making it a medium tank? Similarly to the T-62A or a T-55, it was indeed a main battle tank, and the sheer purpose of its existence was to be in the front line, but the tank itself had only light to mediocre armor. What does that mean, you may ask? Well, look at this freaking cage at the back of a tank. It must have an enormous engine hiding underneath, and look at this ventilation on the side, and what's this? I can bet that is like a nitro or some shit. You know, like the things you can see in the pot eraser. No, really. It means that the original Emil had an amazing horsepower-ton ratio that was even higher than the horsepower-ton ratio of the Russian tanks. Hell, it was nearing 20. That's mother flipping amazing. Sadly, there were even some other modification of this Emil tank, such as the Kranvagn we can see in a game, which had only a bit more than 15.5 horsepower-ton ratio, which wasn't all that astonishing. Not in the game though, as here, having 15 horsepower-ton ratio on a heavy is amazing, because you will feel as if you are playing a medium tank and not a heavy, which is, well, amazing. Well, obviously you don't have nearly as much DPM as you would have with a medium tank, especially since you got an autoloader on top of it. But hey, 15 HP to ton ratio is 15, so you can't be too picky, alright? Anyways, since I mentioned its gun being an autoloader, why not continue talking about that schlong? By the way, I expected it to be a lot bigger with that recent invasion of Somali refugees, but well, guess they have to know how to use it. Guess what? It shoots 6 times per minute, so no, they got absolutely zero idea about how to use it. Oh wait, never mind, Americans come even faster. Either way, this gun, before any nerf, had nearly the same DPM as the T-57. However, that'd be too OP, so Wargaming changed it. Nowadays it neither has the one clipping potential nor the high damage output. That, however, doesn't mean that the gun is weak. It still has over 2250 DPM and 400 alpha damage with 4 round magazine. Pretty standard gun, eh? But the only real problem of it is the slight lack of penetration, because it has only, quote unquote, only 252 penetration, compared to the MX's 257 or the T-57's 258. It may not look like much lower, but I just wanted to point it out, so here I go. Overall, this gun fits this tank perfectly. You know why? It makes this tank fill out the gap between tier 10 autoloading heavies. Previously we had one with a great DPM and one with great mobility. The only thing lacking was an autoloading heavy with great armor. And surprisingly enough, the tank that filled the spot was just a cheap copy of MX-50B that historically had only 30 more armor. As well, I gotta point out that the Kranvagn is surprisingly small and light. Yeah, it might be the most heavily armored tier 10 autoloader, but for Christ's sake, it weighs only 45 tons. So never ram anyone in it. By the way, what the hell was that MX eating that it's way heavier than the American T-57? Fast food healthier than baguettes confirmed. Eh? Nobody? Well, I technically insulted potential 400 million that might watch this video in the future, so no, nobody. Either way, let's move on to the equipment. Firstly, go with the vertical stabilizers. I actually forgot to mention that this tank has horrific accuracy, and plus to that, it's a freaking autoloader, meaning that you'll most likely move in between the shots, making you less accurate as a result. And trust me, you gotta get those numbers down, otherwise you ain't hitting anything, okay? Secondarily, improve ventilation class 3 to furthermore decrease the penalties for moving and, well, increase the overall performance of this tank. I recommend the ventilations. And lastly, take either the enhanced gun length drive or the coated optics. This is mostly a matter of choice, but since the new lightings were introduced to the game with 9.18, you can expect to have most of the targets lit up without you doing anything. So for the upcoming few weeks, probably months, I think that the gun length drive will be far more superior piece of equipment to take. Now you may be asking, where's the gun rammer? And the truth is that this tank cannot really equip it, sadly. But now to the crew training. Surströmming. Yeah, take it. Why the hell not? Swedes love rotten stuff for some reason for entire centuries, so why not? It as well scares all enemies and sadly even allies away from you in the proximity of 1 kilometer. So use it with caution, or if you really want to get some juicy kill on the lure. But now to the real crew guide. Start with the repairs, then drop for 6 cents and start again with repairs. However, now add snapshot and smooth ride. After you finish with those, go for brothers in arms. Now, thankfully there are only 3 people in this tank, so I don't really need to talk all that much. Alright, now that we are done with this serious stuff, let's go to the gameplay. It's actually rather simple to explain. Just hide behind a hill and show just your turret, kinda like this. Then put on your seductive, convincing voice and say, "Hey kids, wanna buy some premium ammo?" And then just hope that you will lure somebody into your nice little wally where you'll surprise them by showing them that you were an ice cream truck all the time. Ha! Joke's on you, suckers! This kind of positioning allows you to dish out tons of damage while still being relatively safe from incoming damage. Why? Well, you only expose your turret armor, which thanks to the angling while using 12 degrees of gun depression is more or less impossible to be penetrated. Well, not more or less, but 100% impenetrable. But how can you do that if those kind of spots are always either deeply into the enemy territory and thanks to that hard to reach, or useful probably as much as my teammates? Well, use your speed for Christ's sake. The Kranvagn surely is not the fastest tier 10 heavy, but it can without any doubts outspeed all of the more heavily armored tanks. So yeah, you can get into that kind of spot rather early into the game and rather safely, and then you can use it until some annoying bomb digger engages onto you. Obviously that applies only to the maps with some bumps or hills. If you get matched onto some flat maps, so for example Kharkov or Stalingrad, you can just bend over and kiss your ass goodbye. Oh, and I nearly forgot to mention, since you got an autoloader, you should always try to be aggressive and empty your wall clip. However, you get 3-second long intra-clip reload. That means that to empty out your clip, you need whole 9 seconds. And that's a really long amount of time, trust me. So I recommend you to not engage enemies that are just peeking from behind the corner. Why is that? Well, you'll shoot once and they'll retreat, so nope, not worth it. Especially if they are a medium tank. Instead of that, wait for them to engage one of your allies and then just pull out onto them, reducing their HPs at least by half, helping your teammates by a lot. Another option that's only useful against low DPM attackers and only useful to you if you are cooldown is that you just won't give a damn and you will shoot those 2 or 3 shells regardless of how exposed is the enemy, and then go for the reload. Not all that useful, but hey, it's at least some damage. Anyways, this is gonna be the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a like. If you did not, please give it a dislike because I wanna know whether or not I should improve. As well, if you already gave it a dislike, please don't forget to comment down below about what you disliked about the video so I can change it in the future. Either way, hope you enjoyed and I hope that I'll see you next time. Bye!